Hey Sarah, it's been a while since we've had a proper catch-up. How have you been?
I've been good, Alex. Just busy with work and trying to keep up with everything else. What about you? How's life treating you?
Pretty much the same. Work's been hectic, and I'm just trying to balance everything. You know how it is. But I'm curious, what does a typical day look like for you? We never really talk about our daily routines.
That's true. I guess we're always focused on the big updates and forget about the little things. Okay, let me think. A typical day for me starts around 6:30 a.m. I'm not a morning person, but I try to wake up early because it gives me some quiet time before the day gets hectic. The first thing I do is grab my phone and check my messages and emails.
Oh, I can relate. I do the same thing. It's almost like a habit now, checking emails and messages right after waking up.
Exactly. After that, I get out of bed and head to the bathroom to freshen up. I usually just splash some water on my face and brush my teeth. I do a quick 5-minute skincare routine because it helps me feel more awake and ready for the day. What about you? Do you have a morning routine?
I do, actually. I wake up around 7 a.m., a bit later than you. The first thing I do is drink a glass of water. It's supposed to be good for you, or at least that's what I've heard. Then, I take a shower to wake up properly. After that, I usually have a quick breakfast, something simple like toast and eggs or a bowl of cereal. I try not to spend too much time in the morning because I don't want to rush to work.
That's a good idea. I should probably incorporate drinking water into my morning routine too. It sounds refreshing. After I'm done with my skincare, I head to the kitchen to make myself a cup of coffee. I can't function without my morning coffee. It's like a ritual for me.
Coffee is a must. I usually grab a cup at the office, though. So, what do you do after coffee?
Well, I sit down with my coffee and have a light breakfast. Sometimes I'll have a smoothie or some yogurt with fruits. After that, I spend about 10 to 15 minutes planning my day. I write down my to-do list and prioritize what needs to get done. It helps me stay organized and focused throughout the day.
That's smart. I usually just dive right into work without much planning, but maybe I should start doing that too. What time do you usually leave for work?
I leave the house around 8 a.m. It's not a long commute, just about 20 minutes by bus. I like to listen to a podcast or read a book on the way. It's a nice way to ease into the workday. How about you? How's your commute?
My commute is pretty short too. I drive to work, and it only takes about 15 minutes, depending on traffic. I usually listen to music or an audiobook to pass the time. Once I get to the office, it's straight to business. What's your workday like?
I work as a graphic designer, so my day usually starts with checking emails and any updates on ongoing projects. Then, I dive into designing, whether it's creating new layouts, working on logos, or brainstorming ideas for new campaigns. We usually have a team meeting around 10 a.m. to discuss our progress and any new assignments.
That sounds busy but interesting. Meetings can be a drag sometimes, though. Do you have a lot of them?
Not too many, thankfully. Just the morning one and maybe one more in the afternoon if there's a new project coming in. The rest of my day is spent working on designs and collaborating with the team. What's your workday like? I know you work in finance, right?
Yeah, I'm in finance. My workday is mostly numbers and spreadsheets. I start by checking the market updates and any emails that came in overnight. Then, I review any pending reports or presentations. We have a team meeting around 9:30 a.m. to go over our goals for the day. It's pretty routine, but I like having a structured schedule.
I can see how having a structured schedule would be beneficial in finance. It must require a lot of concentration and attention to detail.
It does. That's why I take short breaks in between tasks to clear my head. I'll usually grab a cup of coffee or take a quick walk around the office. It helps me stay focused. How do you stay focused during the day?
For me, it's all about taking little breaks too. I'll get up, stretch, maybe chat with a coworker for a few minutes, and then get back to work. Sitting in front of the computer for too long can be draining, so I try to move around a bit. Do you have lunch at the office or do you go out?
It depends on the day. Sometimes I'll bring lunch from home, but other days I like to go out and grab something nearby. It's nice to step out of the office and get some fresh air. What about you?
I usually bring lunch from home. I like cooking, so I prepare my meals the night before. It's healthier and saves money too. But I do go out for lunch with colleagues once or twice a week. It's a good way to catch up with everyone and take a break from work.
That's great. I should probably bring lunch more often too. I end up eating out a lot. What time do you usually finish work?
I usually wrap up around 5:30 or 6 p.m., depending on how busy the day is. I try not to stay too late unless there's a deadline. After work, I like to go to the gym or do some kind of exercise. It helps me de-stress and stay active. Do you have any post-work routines?
I try to hit the gym too, but I'm not as consistent as I'd like to be. After work, I usually head home, make dinner, and then either watch a show or read a book. I try to unwind and disconnect from work. It's important to have that downtime.
Definitely. It's so easy to get caught up in work and forget to relax. After my workout, I usually go home, shower, and then spend some time cooking dinner. Cooking is one of my favorite hobbies, so I enjoy experimenting with new recipes. After dinner, I'll either watch some TV, read, or catch up with friends over the phone.
That sounds like a nice way to end the day. I'm not much of a cook myself. I usually stick to simple meals. Do you cook every night?
Not every night. Sometimes I'll have leftovers or something quick if I'm tired. But I try to cook at least 4 or 5 nights a week. It's therapeutic for me, and I like knowing what's going into my meals.
That's impressive. I should probably take a cooking class or something. So, what time do you usually go to bed?
I try to be in bed by 10:30 p.m. I like to read a bit before sleeping. It helps me relax. I usually fall asleep around 11 o'clock. How about you? Are you an early sleeper?
Not really. I'm more of a night owl. I usually end up staying awake until midnight, sometimes even later if I'm watching something interesting or caught up in a good book. But I'm trying to get better at going to bed earlier.
It's tough to change sleep habits, but getting enough rest makes such a difference. I feel much more productive when I get a good night's sleep.
Totally agree. Sleep is essential. It's funny, though we both have such different daily routines, yet we end up with similar results in terms of managing work and life.
That's true. It just goes to show that everyone has their own way of structuring their day. As long as it works for you, that's what matters.
Exactly. It's been really interesting hearing about your daily routine, Sarah. It makes me think about how I can tweak mine a bit.
Same here, Alex. I've picked up some great tips from you too. It's always good to share and learn from each other. So, here's to better routines and more balanced days.
Cheers to that.